Hey everybody, this is Ori for OneScales. In today's video, I'm going to talk about DMARC. It's a very, very popular topic lately in January 2024. DMARC Simplified is the name of the article I just published, and it's here to make it make sense for you non-technical people out there. Okay, so DMARC Simplified plus SPF, DKIM, and more. What does that mean? Gmail and Yahoo in January 2024 released to the whole world, everybody that has a website, no matter if you're Shopify, WordPress, Magento, whatever it is, you have a website, you're sending emails. They basically are telling people, hey, by February 1st, 2024, you must comply. You must set up some DNS records with DMARC and a few other things, SPF. DKIM, things like that. You have to set it. If not, you risk your emails getting sent to people's spam folders. And obviously, as a business, you don't want your emails to not get delivered to the people you're trying to, your customers or visitors, etc. So they release some requirements to reduce spam, and you have to actually comply. You have to actually do these things. In general, these are positive things. These are good things. It's good that they push it, but it's a very, very rushy. Most of you have heard about this in January, and then you already have to comply 1 month later or less than 1 month. Okay, so this video is going to simplify, explain to you everything you need to do, show you tools, talk about the concepts so you actually know what that means. I'm going to simplify it as best as I can. There's a little DNS knowledge, but most of the concepts are going to be very, very simple for you to understand. Okay. Let's jump into it. So DMARC, what's the point of all of this? So DMARC in general, in a very, very simple manner, it's called Domain-Based Message Authentication, Reporting, and Conformance. So that's really, really long and very crazy. Very simply put, when you send an email to someone, for example, I am a OneScales, so I have an email called info@onescales.com. When I send it to my friend, let's say they have a Yahoo account, I'm sending it to my friend at yahoo.com. The Yahoo email server is going to read this email and verify that's actually legit, really coming from OneScales, the owner of onescales.com, or an employee or someone that has an email. Or else someone else could fake it and say, you know what, I'm OneScales, I'm going to send an email, and they just send spam and phishing attacks and hacks and all kinds of stuff like that. So they're going to verify the DNS records, and they're going to check the IP, and they're going to say, okay, what's in the DNS records, and what is the person that just sent, or excuse me, the system or the server that just sent the email, is it legit? They're going to check the SPF records, the DKIM records, and if it is not legit, it's actually going to review the DMARC record you put in your DNS, and it's going to, based on what you put in your domain name, in your domain DNS, it's actually going to follow your rules. So if you say, you know what, if there's an issue, it doesn't verify, this is kind of fishy, that this person or this system is probably not sending from onescales.com, then I want you to first alert my email. The onescales.com will have a public email that it's going to tell me that something looks fishy. The second thing is it's going to do some kind of action based on OneScales, what it actually specified. So I can specify in my DMARC, say, you know what, if it looks fishy, I want you to not even deliver that email. So don't even deliver it. Or you know what, I want you to deliver it, but you can put it in the spam folder. Or I don't want you to do anything, just alert me. Just alert the business so I can make some kind of action based on that. Okay, so we're going to jump into it a little bit more. But very, very simply, it's a way for you to specify a policy in your DNS records that say, if something it looks fishy, I want you to tell me about it and then do some kind of action on it. Either don't do anything or put it in the spam folder, still deliver, or don't deliver at all. Okay? So one more thing is very important. I talked about sending emails from my domain name, from a certain email address to someone. Okay? So in addition to me just going, for example, and sending an email, for example, I got an email from a system. I'm going to send it, for example, from, let's say, from Ori at to whatever other email. So let me go back for a second. So in addition to me going to my email client, I'm just sending an email. Also, systems send on behalf of your domain. So for example, if I'm using MailChimp or Klaviyo, I want, when an email newsletter gets sent to all of my customers or all of my subscribers, I want the emails from Klaviyo or MailChimp or Shopify or whatever it is, I want them to actually have an email from my email. So for example, subscribers at onescales.com, I want them to actually be sent by them. So how does Klaviyo or MailChimp send on my behalf without getting spammy. How do they get approved? And the way they get approved is I specify DNS records. In particular, I specify the SPF record, most importantly, and then DKIM records. And they tell the receiving email servers, hey, you know what? This is legit. I, OneScales, authorize Klaviyo and MailChimp to send on my behalf. And how do I specify that? In my DNS records, I say, I allow Klaviyo to send on my behalf. That's literally what it is, okay? So what are the 4 things I need to do to make sure my emails are secure and no one can send on my behalf? And if people try to, I'm going to get alerted about it, and I'm going to tell what to do with it, either don't send or things like that. Number 1, the most important thing, this is not really for the topic of today's video, but mail servers. Obviously, when you send your emails, for example, from your Gmail or whatever it is, GoDaddy or etc., you need to first specify MS records which say who can send and receive on my behalf via just basic emails like my Outlook or my Gmail, stuff like that. So the first thing you have to set is MX records. This is very basic. I use Cloudflare for my DNS, but for example, you see all these MX records for OneScales. I actually use Gmail or Google Workspace for my emails. So that's the first thing you got to do. The second thing you need to do is set up SPF records. SPF records, SPF is Sender Policy Framework. Really simply put, you specify who can send on your behalf. That's what we said before. So I'll give you an example right here. These are SPF records are actually considered TXT records in domain. And what you have right here, just for example, is for the domain onescales.com, I will include the spf.hostedemail.com, which basically this is and google.com. So I actually have 2 systems that I allow them to send on my behalf. One is my Google Workspace, my Gmail, and the other one is actually Shopify. I got this from the Shopify instructions. I specified the include for Shopify, so I let Shopify send on my behalf, and I let Google send on my behalf. So whenever I send a Gmail email, which uses my domain name, I do it, and then this is for Shopify. So for example, Shopify, I have a Shopify store or Shopify site, excuse me, I don't have a store. If someone registers and they get a welcome email, thank you for registering, Shopify will send on behalf of OneScales email and say, welcome to our site, etc. Okay? The next one is DKIM, Domain Keys Identified Mail. This is just a way for you to sign a message that when you actually create it from onescales.com, when you sign it, when you deliver it from your email server to the email server of your recipient, for example, my friend is at Yahoo, then when you actually sign it, it's kind of like locking a letter. So you sign it and you send it to the next place. When it gets opened by Yahoo servers, then the signature itself will actually specify that it was not tampered. It's kind of like a tamper-proof way. It uses math, obviously, uses cryptography to sign the email and make sure that nothing was tampered along the way. When it was delivered from your server to the Yahoo server, for example, it was not tampered. It's a way to do it, kind of like a signature on a check. It's a way for them to verify that nothing changed from when it was made and when it was sent, okay? And the last one is the DMARC, so domain-based method authentication, reporting, and conformance. Very simply put, I'm going to specify, for example, in my record right here, let me show you the DMARC right here. I'm going to specify that if something happens, if something looks a little fishy, for example, I specify don't do anything. I just want to get a report. And where am I going to get a report? I'm going to mail this report to actually multiple emails. One is my Cloudflare email, one is my OneScales email, and one is, for example, a Easy DMARC, which is a tool we're going to show, which we use for managing all of this stuff. Okay, so I can send an email and alert one or multiple emails on the issue that something looks fishy and one of the email providers, Gmail, Yahoo, etc., they saw something doesn't look good and they're going to alert me. Okay, now in addition to not doing anything, I could either, instead of not doing anything, I can tell the email server, you know what, you can deliver it, but put it in the spam folders, which is called quarantine. Or you can actually say, you know what, I want to completely block it. Don't send it at all. Don't even forward it. It looks spammy. Don't do it. Okay? There's a few other settings, but I'm trying to keep this thing as simple as possible. And if you have any questions, please let me know as well, because there is a little technical side to it. But I'm trying to keep all the most important things here, and all the small technical things leave for technical people. Okay? So now we cover this. So we talked about, obviously, by February 1st, 2024, Yahoo and Gmail are going to require this. So you should do this very quickly, etc. So what do you actually need to do? Now, this is a little bit more tricky to cover. And the reason for this, it's actually very easy. But because every website has different systems that you want to send on your behalf, then I can't cover all of them because there's so many platforms. There's thousands of platforms. But the concept is you're going to open your DNS records right here, and then you're going to open a new tab with your platform, the system that you want to conform. So first of all, you're going to set up your DMARC for your domain, and I'll show you a tool that you can make it very easily in a second. And the second thing is you're going to go to the systems you want. For example, I want Shopify to send on my behalf. So I'm actually going to Google and I'm going to say, how do I set up my email? And then I'm just going to follow the steps. And the steps are really simply, I'm just going to go to my settings, for example, in Shopify, go to notifications. There's going to be a system that I can verify my domain via SPF records, DKIM records. I already did it, and we already have it in other videos, but that's a concept. If I need Klaviyo, I can do the same for Klaviyo. Just for example, you can find it, scroll down, do the steps, set up some DNS records, which you can copy paste below. You can have these things, for example, here, and you can proceed. Everyone is a little different, but these are the concepts. If you have any questions, you're not sure how to do it, just specify in the comments, contact us, and ask questions. We'll help you find the instructions how to do it. It's pretty simple, okay? So these are the important things. Now, in addition, Yahoo and Gmail also require a few other things. Obviously, they're trying to reduce spam. So in addition to specifying these DNS records, which are very important, you should also register Google Postmaster Tools, which is a link, excuse me, or let's find it, Postmaster, let's open it here, Postmaster Tools, Google. And what it is it's a way for you to see, you can confirm your domain name. It's really simple, it takes a few seconds. And then you can actually see via these different graphs, you can actually see different things for spam rates, etc. If you have a spam rate over 0.1%, you might start getting some of your messages in the spam folder. So be very careful, try to be under. The reason I don't have graphs right now is because OneScales doesn't have any spam, and it's very new and there's very few emails, so there's not really something it can show, but yeah, it'll actually show if you have a bigger domain, you're sending more emails and you have more time. But this is a way for you to check back once in a while to see if there's any issues. For example, delivery issues or spam rates. Okay, great. So what are some other points that you should know about? Instead of you reading all the Gmail and Yahoo requirements, there's a few other things you should also know about. These are some things that are a little technical. I'm going to skip it right now. But one thing that's very important is most email third-party systems like Gmail, Shopify, etc., they handle most of these things anyway, so you don't have to worry about it. One of the most important things is you need to allow people to unsubscribe with one button, not to do multiple steps. And when you subscribe them, you should have a second step. So when they put in their email to subscribe, for example, they go to the bottom, they specify here subscribe, you should want them to actually click on a verify on an email that says, are you sure? Yes, I definitely subscribed. Okay, and some other technical things which most email providers actually do. Okay, so now that you have all these things, now I want to show you a tool on how you can actually use third-party tools, either free ones or paid ones. Hopefully you can use the free one, and if you actually become bigger and you send more and you need it, you can actually upgrade to paid services, but the free one works really well, especially for small businesses. So let's say you understand this, you got this video, this article, you read it, everything's cool. Now you actually want to set it yourself, and I showed you the steps in the DNS records, but you actually want tools to verify if you did things correctly. So how do you actually know if you did things correctly? There's some tools here you can link on our article and you can see them, but I'm going to show you a little bit about each one of them. So the first one is to analyze your current DNS records. How do I know if I actually already have DMARC? How do I know if I have SPF records? How do I know if they're correct? What you're going to do is, I like to use in this Easy DMARC, which is a tool. We use the free tool for our business. This tool has a lot of ways for you to gather all the DMARC information and see things. So right here, I set it up. I have a domain scanner. I'm just going to put in my domain, right? And I'm going to click on show results. When you go here, it's going to specify, did you set up the DMARC correctly, the SPF correctly, the DKIM correctly? You see that this is correct, and this is partial, the DMARC, okay? And BIMI we'll talk about a little bit later. So if I scroll down, I can see my DMARC records, I can see the SPF records, I can see the DKIM, and BIMI I don't use at all, very simply. But if I look at this right here, I can specify, I can go one by one and look at the DMARC, and it says it is valid. It is reporting. Reporting means if there's an issue, something looks spammy, it'll send me an email, tell me about it. And the domain policy, the reason why it wasn't fully green is because I specified if something looks fishy, I still want you to deliver it. Don't change anything because I want to monitor this over time. I don't want by mistake some emails to be in spam because I didn't set up something correctly. I want to monitor this and specify don't do anything with the emails, still deliver them normally. And I want to monitor for a few months that I can make sure that I didn't make any mistakes, and then I'll start actually blocking them. Okay, so blocking them is called reject, sending them to spam folder is called quarantine, and do nothing with it, just send normally is called none. Okay, I like to actually make sure I don't do something incorrect, which is don't deliver something. Okay, so everything's okay. This is good for me. I actually have it correct. Okay, so next one, let me go right here, is the SPF records. So SPF records allows me to specify which system can send on my behalf. For example, there's two systems that I allow if you saw before. One is called the Shopify emails, which use hostedemail.com. And the other one is Google emails, SPF Google, which I allow my Gmail to send on my behalf. Okay, great. Next one is the DMARC record generator. So if I don't have a DMARC record in my DNS. I obviously do already if I have it. If I don't have it, let's go right here. I can actually create one and then just copy paste the output into my DNS records. So I'm going to specify my domain, for example, onescales.com. What do I do with it? If there's an issue, something looks fishy, either deliver it normally, send it to spam folder, or don't deliver at all. For example, I'm monitoring only. If there's an issue, send an email, send a report to, for example, this email. I'm going to create a new email to get all the reports. And then all of these things, what am I doing with if I have subdomains? So this is just anything at onescales.com. But if I have emails from, a shop.onescales.com, that's a subdomain, I can actually have different policies. Okay. I want to keep everything normal, just the basic settings right here, relax. And when does it update in the DNS records? For example, once a day it'll update. This is basically seconds. So I can keep everything. These filters, for example, I want to block everything. What percentage does it apply to? 100% of all the emails that have issues, or 20%, etc. Keep everything all default if you're not sure. And then failure reports are not. I can specify the same thing, but failure reports are very, very rare, and most email providers don't actually send them. Gmail, Yahoo don't even use this, so you can just specify the same. You're really not going to get any emails from. So once I click on generate, now I have a new record. I can go ahead to my DNS records, create it. Obviously, I already created it. The name is _DMARC or _DMARC.yourdomain, and then the content is what you just copy paste. Okay. Again, if you have any questions, this had to be a little technical because there's no way around it, but it's good to know. The next thing, this is my favorite tool by far. So the email investigation tool. This tool you can only use if you actually have an account. There are free accounts, you can still use it. So I'm going to log in and specify it to you. So we talked about how do we check that our records are correct. We set up all these records in our DNS. We have our one second. Let's go right here. We have our DMARC TXT records. We have our DKIM records, we have our SPF records, they're all good. It looks okay. How do I know if it's good? Obviously, we just saw the tools, but my favorite tool right now is when you log in, you can actually go here to email investigation. And what you can do is you can click on new test, and it's going to give you an email, for example, right here. You're going to copy the email. You're just going to go to your Gmail or whatever email you're sending. You're going to send an email to them. And then it's actually going to check all the data and check if it actually complied, right? So it's not checking the DNS records, it's checking as if it's a real server that's receiving this, and it's checking that you set up SPF correctly, DKIM correctly. So for example, this is a really good tool. I recommend Easy DMARC for you guys. You can check out the links right here. Any of these will go here. You can register a free one, or if you're a big site, obviously you can pay for it, but the free one is going to be sufficient for a lot of small businesses. So this is really good because this helped me figure out a bug that I didn't even know about for a long time. So I sent an email. I did a first test, and it said, you know what? Actually, your DMARC is valid and your SPF is valid. It looks okay in your DNS records, but you know what? Actually, something failed. Something failed. You sent it to your Gmail. Something failed. It was wrong. You see here the DKIM failed. It wasn't right. Like part of it failed, part of it succeeded, but something was wrong. When I Googled that, when I figured out what's going on, actually I figured out that the MX records are okay, but I didn't set up, let me show you right here. Excuse me. I didn't set up my my DKIM. I didn't set it up at all, and I went to Google documentation, and I went there, and I just added it, and here's my DKIM. You can see it. This is a public thing. Obviously, it's DNS records. You shouldn't worry. And I forgot to set it up. I've had this email for a long time. I didn't get any spam emails, but now Google and Gmail and Yahoo are being more strict. I totally forgot about it. This tool helped me identify it via this email investigation. So I fixed it. I added the DNS record. I saved it, and then I went back to investigation. I clicked on new test, which was this one, and then I clicked here. I sent another email to a new email address, and lucky everything was perfect. It passed. It was good. I am perfect. So this is a tool that's so nice. I really love this tool. This is my favorite tool out of all of them. Obviously, the other tools are pretty cool, but this one is by far the one I use. I figured out something I totally didn't know, and I've been doing this for a long time and many years, and I just didn't know about it. So this is a great way to do it, and I like it. So other than that, I just want to show you the most important thing about DMARC, which is there's the last two things are going to be, which is when I specify DMARC, if you remember, it basically specifies if there's an issue, something looks fishy, what I want you to do with it. For example, don't do anything, deliver normal, or quarantine, send to spam, or just reject it, just block it. But one of the things it does is actually it sends you a report to your email, for example, DMARC here. So I have, you're going to receive every day some report or reports. You're going to receive an email, and it's going to look like this. DMARC, for example, Google email or Yahoo or Amazon or whatever it is, whatever is going to send. If something looks fishy, there's an issue, it's going to send you a file. This file is an XML file. It's really hard to read. It doesn't really make sense. So what can you do? If you're going to open it, it's just going to look kind of ridiculous. Let's go right here. Let me open it right there. It's just going to be an XML file. It's going to give you IP addresses, emails, settings. It's kind of like you're not going to know what to do with it. So what you can do is you can actually use the tool here, right here. Let's go right here. You can actually use the tool. You can import the XML report. For example, let's look right here. And it'll actually make it more visual. It actually makes sense. So let's view it right now. And you can see the graph, you can see the timing, you can actually import multiple, and you can see that it's not compliant, and you can actually see more information. So you see right here, something looks weird. There is this domain that definitely looks spammy. Something's wrong. Someone's trying to send email on my behalf. And because I actually didn't specify to block it, it's actually trying to deliver. So it's trying to deliver. It actually delivered, but obviously I'm not allowing it by my SPF. It's there's no DKIM. I'm not allowing it. So something is wrong. I need to block these guys. These guys are so spammy. I need to report it. I need to do something with it, right? So in my case, after a little time, I'm actually going to change my DMARC record to reject everything. Once I verify that I didn't make any mistakes, all my systems have authority, I'm going to block these guys. Okay, so now I have an action to do, and DMARC is something you have to do on an ongoing basis. You're going to get reports all the time, and you're going to actually have to improve things. You're going to actually work on a regular basis to reduce your spam. This is a good thing, okay? So the last thing is showing you a little bit about the tool itself, right? DMARC, Easy DMARC, these are reports that you can have. These are systems. Let me introduce you a little bit to the system. We use the free account. In general, only if you're a larger site, you send a lot of emails or you get a lot of alerts, you need it, but they have a few interesting things. So the first thing you can do is when you have a free account, this is the thing that you're going to visit the most. After you set up everything once and use all the tools, generally you're not going to change anything unless you have some new systems that you want to send on your behalf. But this is the place you're going to spend most of the time, aggregate reports. And if you remember, we imported all the XMLs. Instead of me importing one by one, because I actually added the DMARC email right here, sorry, this one right here, then they're going to get all the emails every day, just like I get it, and they're going to actually put everything in their database, and I'm going to see everything here. So I don't need to do anything. I just need to visit regularly, check if everything's okay, check if there's especially things that are non-compliant like this one, and make fixes just like we did before. Make fixes and fix that. We've already fixed it, so we're good. And then if things over time have a problem, you need to do some action to fix it, okay? Everything else, failure reports, as I mentioned, are something that you're almost never going to get. Gmail doesn't support it. Yahoo doesn't support it. This is an old system, old thing that no one really supports. And what else can you have here? What are some other things that are really important? This, again, you're going to spend 99% of the time on aggregate reports, which is all the issues you're going to receive so you can actually monitor it. Now, these things, managed solutions, easy SPF, is if you don't want to set the DNS records every time you want to change it by yourself, you can set it up one time here, and then everything else you're going to actually manage in the back end here. It helps you make a little less mistakes, but in general, I like to manage everything by myself, but you can actually specify, add more emails to get alerts, things like that. You can do everything here. This will basically translate and just auto-update this thing right here. Not too special, but I in general like to manage things myself. Easy SPF, same thing. If you want to manage the SPFs via here instead of in the records, you're gonna have to set it up one time and do it. Okay. What else? Also, reputation monitoring we talked about. You have the tool. You can actually see if you're on email blacklist, things like that. Email investigation is definitely my favorite tool, aside from obviously the DMARC reports. And all the tools we specified before, there's all these tools to test the domain scanner we talked about. Most of these tools right here are specified here, at least the important ones. And that is it. So let's take a few seconds for you guys to digest what we just talked about. I know it's a lot. Hopefully it's as simple as I can explain. If you have any questions, ask any detail, any question, no matter what kind of question it is that you think it's stupid, it's not, it's advanced. It's very specific to your case. Ask it. We're as best as we can. We're going to help as much as we can, and the community can also help as well. But just ask us. I'm pretty sure we can help with it. And if it's public, we can make more videos about it, things like that. Just ask us. We're here to help. That's the point of this channel and our website and our social media. We're here to help you guys. That's the point of all of this. So I want to go over a few small things that have been asked by you guys in our other video and comments, and I think it'll be helpful. Number one is if I want to have more than one email in the DMARC, I want to notify, for example, our IT email, and I want to notify Easy DMARC, and I want to notify some other person, my manager. All you need to do is just add the mail to with the email, and again, comma mail to, just like we have right here. Obviously, we have multiple emails. If you can see right here, RUA, which is send all the aggregate reports, equals mail to all of this, comma, mail to colon this, comma. So I actually have 3 emails that I can alert. Okay. What else do we have? Is SPF, DKIM, and DMARC set up only necessarily for websites that send a ton of emails? If I'm a really small site or I don't send emails on this domain, do I need it? The answer is for sure yes. You have to do it. If you don't send emails on your behalf, someone's going to try to spam you. Someone's going to try to send on your behalf. If you do send, 1 to 5 emails a week or a day, you still need to do it because you want to protect your name and your brand and everything. Okay. Next one. If I use, aside from all the setup of the DMARC SPF, if I use MailChimp, Klaviyo, or others, do I need to do anything other than just set up the DMARC record, which this is the DMARC record? Do I need to do anything else? The answer is obviously yes. You need to set up the DKIM and SPF to authorize Klaviyo or MailChimp or whatever it is to actually use your, to send emails on your behalf. Okay. And the last one is BIMI. What is BIMI? This is something I have not set up myself. I have researched it a little bit, but it seems like a very nice feature. I haven't seen it in the live, but it's a pretty interesting one. So BIMI stands for Brand Indicators for Message Identification. Very simply put, if you actually have a logo for your business and it is trademark, it is verified by the government, you have a proof that it's trademark, you can actually add another DNS record that will allow the email providers to display your logo on all of your emails without you having to put it in the signature and things like that. So for example, Gmail will specify it when you're viewing all your emails next to the subject line, things like that. All you have to do, according to the documentation, I haven't done it myself, make sure you have a trademark, make sure you have an logo. You have to upload that logo, for example, SVG or something, to a host, right? Obviously to a server, and you actually have to get a VMC certificate, which you can get for free on Gmail, and you got to upload it and specify this is the URL to my logo. My logo doesn't change, it's trademarked, and then you can actually specify it. I would love to do a video about it. I don't have a trademark logo right now. But this, hopefully we can do a video on it in the future. We are working on trademark for OneScales, but we don't have a trademark for a logo because we would like to do a redesign of the logo. Once we have that, I would love to do that and make a video. But if you know, trademarks take like a year or so to get. So this video is going to be a while from now if we do it. So if you have any questions, let me know. Easy DMARC is one of many tools that can do it. There's other ones that have free and paid accounts. I like them as the best for my research. They look the best, most legit. They have the best reviews, and we use it. We use the free tool for ourselves. It's great. Recommend for you to check it out. And again, if you have any questions, let me know. Let me know what you think. Anything, any detail you want, any question you want, ask us in the comments. We're happy to help. If you did like this video, please like, please subscribe, please share, please say hello. We're here to make a community. Let us know what questions you have. If you didn't like anything, it was too technical, you're not sure, you think we can improve things. I know sometimes I say Oz and all kinds of stuff. I'm trying to improve the quality, the speech, etc. We're in the beginning of OneScales. Let me know what you think. Let us know how we can improve. Much, much appreciated. Thank you, guys.